There are four major policies that you need to worry about here. They're actually very easy and this shouldn't take very long. So first off, there's dress code, then cell phones, then subs, and then last, questions. So let's start with dress code. Dress code is pretty easy. First off, pants. So you gotta wear actual long pants, something like jeans or khakis. In the cafeteria you can wear sweats. In cash shops, which is the Quarry, the Snar, and the Underground, you can't. I personally just think jeans, they're easy to get messy, no big deal. Secondly, hat and shirt. Now, this shirt is for the cafeteria, and same with this hat. Now the hat needs to face forward, like this, nothing to the side or to the back, okay? Now, you need to either buy a shirt and a hat from your manager, or in the cafeteria, you can wear an apron and a paper hat, which is given to you for free. If you're in cash shops, you then have to buy a shirt and a hat. Simple. Next, jewelry. You probably don't want to wear something like a watch or earrings. You may be told to take it off. Think about it. What if your earring falls off? What if you put your hand into some soapy water and it ruins your watch? Probably just easier to leave anything like that home. Shoes. Notice that I'm wearing closed-toed sneakers. I'm not wearing flip-flops. I definitely wouldn't want to wear heels. That seems like a bad idea. So, sneakers. Closed-toed like that. And then lastly, for long hair. If you happen to have long hair, you'll want to pull it out of your face and pull it back. Probably into a ponytail. If it's really long, you'll probably want to put it into a bun. The whole point is to keep it out of the food. Okay? So just those 5 things, pretty easy. Okay? Cell phones are really easy. No. I am really addicted to my new iPhone. I just got this like 2 weeks ago. I love it. I love talking to my friends, talking about movies, TV shows, you name it. Unfortunately, when I'm on my shift, I can't call, I can't text, anything like that. Probably just easier if you turn it off and leave it in the office, or maybe just leave it at home. I think we can all live without our cell phones for about 2 or 3 hours. Okay? So, no cell phones. Okay. Now, if you decide to take a shift, you are responsible for that shift throughout the entire semester, if not the entire year. So, things come up. You might have family coming to visit. There may be something like a religious holiday. You never know. Now, you're still responsible for your shift, but you can get a sub. Now, the way that you get a sub is different. If you're in the dining hall, you go to Moodle, which I'll show you how to do in the dining hall video. If you're working for cash shops, you send an email with all the relevant information, your name, the date that you're looking for a sub, and the time of your shift, to whichever of these addresses is applicable. Then that'll get forwarded on to the rest of the workers. So, let me be clear on that again. You're still responsible for your shift. Now, sometimes there are emergencies. If there's something like an emergency, if you're sick, if there's a family thing, contact your supervisor directly, but you are still responsible. Your supervisors aren't unreasonable, so as long as you contact them directly and make sure that they are aware of what the situation is, things usually work out. Now, when you're getting a sub, personally, I like to think at least 3 days in advance. The earlier you try and get a sub, the better. The more chances people will have to pick it up, the higher the chances someone actually will take your shift. But let's say if you put up a sub a month in advance, people might not see it. So I'd say anywhere from like 3 days to a week in advance is usually a pretty good block of time. I want to be clear though. If you put up a sub the night before your shift because you've got a lot of homework due the next day, that's not really a valid excuse. That's the kind of thing that you really need to take on yourself. This is a part-time job. This is a responsibility for you. So try and get a sub early. Everything works out better. Okay? So, questions. When I was working on these videos, I asked supervisors, I asked managers, I asked full-time workers, I asked all sorts of people. The number one thing that kept coming up was that new workers don't ask enough questions. Now, you might at first be a little nervous, you might be shy. I know I really was. I was also really embarrassed the first time, like for example, not knowing what a fried egg was or how to make a tuna fish sandwich or all sorts of other things. It's okay. No one is born into a job like this. You go through training, you get experience, you learn. Now, your managers and your supervisors aren't psychic. They're not going to know when you have a question. The only way for you to find out is to ask. And I guarantee you, this is something everyone says. If you don't know how to do something, or you're all not clear, they would much rather that you ask so they can show you how to do it right than, let's say, you try and make a smoothie and end up breaking something or doing something wrong or anything like that. So remember, there are people here. Your supervisors, their entire job is to be a resource for you. They're there to make sure that you know how to do what it is that you're being asked. So ask your supervisors all the time. Now, you'll also have coworkers. A lot of times there are sophomores, juniors, or seniors who are still working because they really enjoy working in dining services. These are people, they were in your shoes not that long ago. And these people are usually some of the best ones to ask because they'll tell you exactly how they learned. Usually, very good idea. Full-time workers. Another really good resource. All the full-time workers remember when they first started out, when they were first learning how to do stuff. It can sometimes be a little off-putting to approach someone who's been doing this job for a while, but actually when you get to know them, they're very, very friendly people, very approachable, and again, they really want to answer your questions. They just need to know first. Now, if there's a really serious concern, let's say you have a real problem with a supervisor, or you feel really, really uncomfortable in your job, then you want to contact your managers. Now, the manager's contact information is all in the handbook that you'll be given. So, you don't necessarily need to bother them if, let's say, you had a slight argument with your supervisor. But if there's something really serious, don't be afraid to ask them for help. Or at the very least, voice your concern to them. So, remember, ask lots and lots of questions, okay?